Up on Mountain News at 5:30, a U.S. delegation travels to Greenland as President Donald Trump pushes for a U.S. takeover of the territory. And more than 100 people are dead after an earthquake in Southeast Asia. We take a look at the search efforts as crews continue to look for those trapped under the rubble.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Amelia Lee. Sun and warm weather was the name of the game today, but storms are expected to move into the mountains this weekend. Meteorologist Ben Beddoes joins us on this first alert weather day. Ben.
Well, it's a warm afternoon out there right now. We take a look at our current temperatures across the area. We are sitting into the upper 70s to around 80 degrees, 77 in Jackson, 78 in Hazard. We are 80 in Prestonsburg, 79 in Manchester, 80 in Harlan, 78 in Pikeville, and 78 degrees in Moorhead. It is going to be a comfortable night out there tonight as we're going to have mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures are generally going to fall down into the upper 50s across our region, so not too bad at all tonight, and we look to stay dry. Now we look at tomorrow's forecast. Tomorrow is a first alert weather day out ahead of a significant system that looks to come late into the weekend. Could see a few showers arrive Saturday night, but generally will be cloudy during the day tomorrow as temperatures will warm back up into the mid to upper 70s across our area. So it'll be another warm day just on the cloudy side. We look at our weather headlines and we're talking about a cloudy and warm Saturday, a severe threat though as we go into Sunday and Monday, and then even more activity coming mid parts of the next week. I'll detail it for you. That's coming up.
Thank you, Ben. Well, President Donald Trump was focused on America's northern allies today, dispatching key administration officials to Greenland, while also talking with Canada's new Prime Minister about tariffs. CBS's Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance arrived to sub-zero temperatures in Greenland Friday as they toured a U.S. Space Force base.
It's cold as here. Nobody told me.
The vice president's visit comes as President Trump pushes for a U.S. takeover of the semi-autonomous Danish territory. Greenland and Danish leaders have called the visit a provocation.
Our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. That has to change. And because it hasn't changed, this is why President Trump's policy in Greenland is what it is.
President Trump wants greater access to Greenland's abundant mineral, oil, and natural gas wealth. And in the Oval Office Friday, he said the island is essential to U.S. national security.
We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't.
President Trump has also pushed for Canada to join the U.S. as the 51st state. Friday, he spoke with Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, for the first time. Trump says he believes the U.S. and Canada can strike a fair trade deal, though Carney said Canada will implement retaliatory tariffs.
We had a very good talk, the Prime Minister and myself, and I think things are going to work out very well between Canada and the United States.
The president also announced he wants Congress to pass a law allowing Americans to write off the interest on new car purchases if the vehicles are built in America. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Vice President Vance told U.S. forces in Greenland that he did not foresee the need for military force in the area. He says they will cut a deal, quote, President Trump style. Well, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth conducted a joint news conference with the Philippines Secretary of National Defense today. Secretary Hegseth reaffirmed the United States' commitment to a defense treaty with the Philippines and pledged to strengthen deterrence against threats, including Chinese aggression. Hegseth also said the United States was not seeking war and described President Donald Trump as a peacemaker. The Department of Veterans Affairs is facing an aggressive layoff plan. According to multiple sources, VA call center agents could soon be eliminated as the agency moves toward automation. According to sources in the agency and on Capitol Hill, the cutbacks at the VA would also affect medical and healthcare support staff, administrative roles, including HR personnel, and some regional and central office staff. President Donald Trump is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to get involved with his legal battle regarding the Alien Enemies Act. That's the wartime authority used by his administration to quickly deport reported Venezuelan gang members. This emergency appeal calls for the High Court to overturn a previous order from a U.S. district judge that blocked additional deportations related to the act. U.S. officials say texts by the National Security Advisor and the CIA director in a Signal group chat may have damaged America's ability to gather intelligence on targets in Yemen going forward. It comes as a federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to preserve those messages, in which cabinet members openly discuss pending airstrikes in Yemen. The discussion happened after a journalist was accidentally added to that group chat. A likely death blow for a multi-billion-dollar agency that fought poverty and hunger around the world. Today, the State Department formally notified Congress it's effectively dissolving the U.S. Agency for International Development and moving some of its functions to other agencies. The reorganization will be done by July 1st. The closing of an agency established by Congress without the legislative branch weighing in is expected to draw legal challenges. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced states can now stop people from using federal food assistance to buy soft drinks. He made the announcement during an appearance in West Virginia with the state's Republican governor, who recently signed legislation banning foods containing 7 artificial food dyes and 2 preservatives. West Virginia is the first state to do so. Kennedy has been outspoken about the health dangers of dyes and processed foods.
We have a public health crisis in this country, and unfortunately, West Virginia is leading the way. It's the highest obesity rate of any state in our country. This year, you pulled ahead of Mississippi.
Kennedy is leading a major overhaul of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, calling the department inefficient. He announced he will be laying off 10,000 workers and shutting down entire agencies. Elon Musk says he's going to Wisconsin this weekend to campaign ahead of the state's blockbuster Supreme Court race. Musk's planned trip steps up his involvement after he and his allies have spent more than $20 million on the contest. Musk said he will give a talk to voters in Wisconsin Sunday, with entrance limited to people who voted in the state Supreme Court election. He's also planning to personally hand out a pair of $1 million checks for voting. Officials in Myanmar say at least 100 people are dead and more than 700 injured after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Southeast Asia this morning. Crews are searching for survivors under the rubble of collapsed buildings. CBS's Tina Kraus has the latest.
Rescue teams in Thailand used headlamps and their bare hands to comb through this collapsed building in Bangkok into the night. The 30-story skyscraper that was under construction barreled to the ground Friday after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake rattled the region.
The most important thing is how to rescue those people. It's a great tragedy.
At this high-rise hotel, water from a rooftop pool gushed over the sides as the building shook. American Deborah Poonmache was relaxing in her Bangkok home at the time.
I was in my lazy boy and all of a sudden it moved back and forth and then it toppled over and I hit my head on the table.
The quake was centered across the border in Myanmar near the country's second largest city, Mandalay, reducing mosques and other structures to rubble. People at this airport ran for cover as portions of the ceiling came down. This video shows what was left after a bridge standing for 90 years crumbled into the river. Amid the devastation, Myanmar's military regime made a rare appeal for international assistance.
The United Nations system is mobilizing to help those in need.
Both Myanmar and Thailand have declared states of emergency as residents deal with the disaster and brace for potential aftershocks. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
The death toll remains unknown, but the U.S. Geological Survey estimates it could be in the thousands. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the cost of getting married could be going up due to tariffs. Ways to say I do without falling into debt.